Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast, everyone. This is Abe, your host, with Lammy Chillmeister, my co-host. Today is September 25th, 2024. So, got a lot of stuff going on, man. First thing I want to cover, as far as the intro, nothing new. Just chilling. That's about it. First thing I want to cover, this was brought to my attention through the Quartering, so shout out to him. If you've never checked him out, go check him out. Tell him who sent you. And he was covering Candace Owens. I'm not like a huge fan of Candace Owens. I don't have any particular beef with her or anything. I just, politically, I'm like a classic liberal, which I do watch conservative channels like NPC Show because I like the stuff he puts out. Alex Jones, he's a conservative Republican. Like, I'll watch Republican or conservative stuff, but some people are like too political, and she seems like she's like super political, so that's honestly why I don't really watch her. I'm more into like conspiracies and shit. I swear to God, woman, this chick's driving is horrible. It's what happens when you're out filming out in the wild. So, Candace Owens did a little deep dive on Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris has been saying that she's black. Now, race doesn't bother me. I don't really care what race you are if you're running for president. I've never cared. Like, when I was younger, I was pro-Obama. I was too young to vote, but like if I had been able to vote, I would have voted Obama. I wanted, at one point in time, I was supporting and wanting Vivek Ramaswamy to win presidency during this year's campaign and stuff. So yeah, race does not bother me. Then I went to RFK. White, black, Indian, I could care less, It's not about race. If you are voting and it's about race, then that's, for one, scary. Not that I believe that people should have their right to vote taken away, but it is concerning if there's people out there who literally are voting just because of race or gender. It's fucking retarded. It should be about their policies and their opinion. Religion too. I have that same opinion with religion. Unless they are like some like voodoo practitioner or like satanic, like Luciferian or something, religion shouldn't really be an issue either. Vivek Ramaswamy, I believe, is like Hindu or something like that, and everyone's like, oh, I'm not voting for him because he's Hindu. Okay, like, why does it matter what religion he is? I would love for an atheist to run for office, because it's actually concerning to me that there's so many Christians who have been presidents. And I say it like this because I believe that a lot of these people who run for president and are president, not a lot, but some of them are not Christian. They just say they are to get votes because we live in America, and whether you like it or not, this used to be a Christian nation, Christian / Masonic. But yeah, so it shouldn't matter what race she is anyways. But it's the point that she's lying about her race to get more votes, to get the black vote. So, Candace Owen did some digging around and pretty much found out that Kamala Harris is half Indian and half Irish. No black. So, what's crazy is the half Irish side of her were slave owners. And I find this hilarious, dude. Like, if you dig around, it's always like these elites and Hollywood actors and actresses and stuff. There's a show of, like, I don't know what the show is called, but I've seen clips of it, of actors and actresses and politicians and stuff going on, famous people going on this show. And the whole point of the show is it's people who don't know much about their ancestry. So they got this black dude who will interview them and tell them, basically, they take a DNA test, they dig through all the records that they possibly can. And it's funny because, like, every clip I see is like, it'll be like a black actress or actor, and it's like, oh, it turns out your ancestry is slave owners, or even white people too, obviously, like having slave owner ancestry. And it's funny because they'll like apologize afterwards, like, I'm sorry for what my ancestors did. It's like, I'm pretty sure, I can't prove it, but I'm pretty sure, like, Williams is an Irish family. And our crest, like, you can look our crest up and stuff. It's actually pretty fucking dope. It's a sword with wings attached to it. It's a flying sword, basically. Which makes sense because, like, Williams is like a crime family, and most of the males of my family, like, are like violent criminals. And we used to run a town back in the day called Waterville, Michigan. We were like the mafia, Irish mafia kind of. But anyways, I am pretty sure that my family was slave owners. Like I said, I can't prove it, but I'm pretty fucking sure they were. Because I got to thinking one day, my cousins are Williams, and they're black. They're mixed. My mom married my father, who was Joseph Williams. And then my aunt Reva, my mom's sister, married a black man, and his last name happened to be Williams. Because I remember growing up, I'm like, oh, their last name is Williams too? And my dad was like, yeah, but they're not the same Williams. It's different Williams. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but after the Civil War and shit, when slavery was like abolished, a lot of these freed slaves took on the name of their slave master. So, knowing that, and I got to thinking about it one day, like, I'd say like 80% of Williams are all black. Like, there's very few white Williams. It's like a pretty, statistically, like, I guess not statistically, but like percentage-wise, like, Williams is predominantly a black last name. And I got to thinking about it, and I was like, well, that would kind of make sense if my family was slave owners. Because, think about it, like, a family back in the day might be like, let's just say this, dude. It'll be 2 parents and like 9 kids. We'll even go on the high end. Let's say a 2-parent household had 9 kids back in the day on a plantation. They would have like 20, 30 slaves at least on that plantation. So they're still outnumbered, even with a large family. And let's say all of those slaves took on the last name of the slave master after they got freed. Like, that's why statistically there are so few white Williams compared to black Williams. So it's a theory I have that my family was slave owners. Now, that being said, do I apologize for what my ancestors did? No. Nope. I feel bad, that my great 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 grandpa beat up your great 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 grandpa, you know. But I can't apologize for someone else's actions. If I had a time machine and I could stop my family from being slave owners, I would. But I do not believe that I should have to apologize for the actions of my ancestors. And I believe that too, like with my father, you know, my father in general has done horrible things. I shouldn't have to apologize for the things he did, you know. Yeah, I'm just not going to get on my knees and grovel and be like, please forgive me that my family did something that I have no control over. Like I chose to be born into a slave owning family, you know? Like, you don't choose who you're born. You don't choose who you're born into. Like, I didn't choose this shit. Unless reincarnation is real and my memory was swiped at birth. But as far as I know, until reincarnation is like proven, like, and the theories about it are all correct, like, I didn't choose to be born into a slave owning family. But I don't know, I thought it was funny though that she comes from a slave owner family. So I don't think, in my opinion, she shouldn't be apologizing for that. What she should be apologizing for is lying about being black. So, she wrote a book called The Truths We Hold, which is hilarious that a known, proven, compulsive liar wrote a book called The Truths We Hold. I swear they come up with these names to, like, throw it in your face for the people who know. Like, if you know, you know. So, like, Michelle Obama wrote a book. It was called Becoming Michelle. And we were selling it here where I work, Kroger, and I was like walking past it with a friend of mine. And I looked and I read the title and I was like, oh, Michelle's got a book. And I read the title. And I kept walking. Then I said, wait a second. I did a double take. Reverse, Becoming Michelle. And I picked it up and showed it to my friend. I was like, because he's a conspiracy theorist too. He knows about the Big Mike shit. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I was like, they're just laughing at us, mocking us. Because all the blue-pilled people would pick up that book and go, Becoming Michelle. Oh, that's sweet. You know, that's a good title. Like, this must be how she became such a independent, strong woman, you know. And it's like, that's not, she's laughing at you. Well, he is laughing at you, mocking you, you know. So in this book, though, The Truths We Hold, there's a photo with her grandma, Kamala, and her grandma hanging out. So before all the blue-pilled people and all the non-conspiracy theorists, sheeple, jump into my comment sections and go, see, there's the evidence. She's got a photo of her grandma who's black. Her grandma, Candace Owens, dug into it, and she looked up graveyard records and cemetery records and documents and obituaries on deaths and stuff. Candace did her homework, man. I do have to say that. Like, I don't like or dislike her, but apparently she knows how to research and dig around, because she's got more energy than I do. Because I mean, I could do that type of shit, but I mean, I'm too busy working my day job, you know. Yeah, she died before Kamala was born. So, did Kamala, like, just take a random photo of her and some random black lady and say that was her grandma and put it in the book? That's what it seems like. And we know how far ahead these people plan. Like, everything that unfolds in our reality, I feel like they have been planning this shit for like hundreds of years. That's all they do. Their main job is to control everything. Control everything. So, like, they wake up in the morning, and I've even heard stories and shit of people who, like, worked with the Rothschilds and Rockefellers and all these elites, like multiple accounts of basically saying like Epstein, for example, like these people wake up and they're on the phone all day, moving money, making decisions, buying, selling, trafficking, starting wars, ending wars, moving guns, gold, silver, moving soldiers, moving people. They wake up and they're playing chess essentially with a telephone. They are literally playing chess, and we are the pawn pieces and stuff, you know. Just all day on the phone. And then they party at night and do it all over again the very next day. So to think that they have not already thought this out, hey, we're going to use this black mixed lady. Her name's going to be, you know, Kamala Harris. Yeah, she'll be like the first woman president, blah, blah, blah. They've planned this shit out like years ago. We talked about it, me and Miss McGillicuddy talked about it. How I think it was, forgive me, she knew the name, but there was a president who literally, a child asked, like, do you think there will ever be a woman president? And he basically told the story of what's going on with Trump and Kamala now. And, like, predicted it, like, back in the 80s. And it's like, I think it was like 80s and maybe 60s, something like that. Back in the day, you'd have to find it. It might have been Lyndon. I don't fucking know. I don't want to put a name on it because then I just show my ignorance. But it's out there. I've seen the clip. So yeah, they probably pre-planned all this shit. Yeah, and her actual grandmother died before she was born. And apparently was not even black. And people are like, well, her father's Jamaican. So that's an ignorant thing to say right there. There's a difference between nationality and race. I'm American. Part Native American, part Irish, part Scottish, part English. It doesn't matter. America is the perfect example because we are a Masonic experiment of the new Atlantis. We are a melting pot. The whole point of America was to be an experiment of what happens when we move all sorts of people from all over the world, take over a land, steal it from the Native Americans with rape, pillage, and murder, take it over, and let's cram every race, every religion, every culture, let's cram it all on one place and see what happens. I truly, in my heart of hearts, believe that we are a Masonic experiment, and we are the new Atlantis. Because Atlantis was, in my opinion, if you go with the Plato theory, that it was the Azores, the tops of the Azores, and it was a multicultural hub for trading. And that's trading as far as goods, drugs, gold, silver. But it's also trading ideas, religions, knowledge. I often think, what would the libraries of Atlantis have looked like? They would have been just as impressive as like the libraries of Alexandria, you know? But yeah, we are supposed to be the new Atlantis. Now, am I going to get into the philosophical side of, do I think it's a failed experiment or a past experiment? I'm not sure. It depends on which lens you're looking through. I'm not a Mason, so I don't know what the Masons' intention were and if it's a failure or a pass to them. I'm not an elite either. But yeah, so the whole point of, oh, her dad's Jamaican, it's like, so apparently her father's Indian and Irish. That's where she gets the Irish from. And her mother's like full blown Indian, I believe. But like, it doesn't matter if, you know, nationality. It's nationality. This, like, that's an ignorant statement of all these people going, well, her dad's from Jamaica. It's like, that doesn't fucking matter. Elon Musk is from Africa. Elon Musk is an African, but he's full white. Diantward, it's a white guy and a white chick. They're African. Like, it doesn't, just because you're African, technically Elon Musk is an African American. He's born and raised in Africa and moved over here. He's, but yeah, I think that's about it as far as that whole thing. Kamala Harris is a compulsive liar and she's not black. Thought it was interesting. Next subject. By the way, I keep forgetting to have Lammy tell you all goodbye whenever the podcast is over. So, let's talk a little more politics. This is just going to be a politics episode. Yes, politics are important to conspiracy. So, a Wisconsin Trump rally has been canceled because the Secret Service feels that it's understaffed and does not have the proper amount of people, proper amount of supplies, whatever. Insufficiently supplied and understaffed and shit to protect him properly in the Wisconsin Trump route. Now, people are going, well, why is this important? Why are we talking about this? I heard this from the Quartering once again. He's a good source of information. He lives in Wisconsin. He's a Wisconsinite. Is that what it's called? So he was saying the reason why this is so important, and it gets into conspiracy, is Wisconsin has been a battleground state in the last election and the election before. Donald Trump, apparently, he had won Wisconsin over in 2016, but lost Wisconsin in 2020. So it's a battleground state. And if he can't go out there and rally, how is he supposed to get votes? Now, you got two routes. The blue pill and the red pill. I am Morpheus. The blue pill route would be the Secret Service is not lying and they're actually doing their job. Now that would imply that specifically the Crooks assassination attempt was not an inside job and they didn't want it to happen. And I don't know about you, but we covered the Crooks assassination attempt, I think, like 3 episodes. We deep dived into how that shit was sketchy as fuck. And the Secret Service, in my opinion, wanted Trump dead. So if you take the blue pill route, that means that the Secret Service, which they do, let's play devil's advocate, they do have a new, a president or whatever. They kicked out that one chick and brought in a new dude, which we did an episode on covering this new guy. I forget his name, but we did a whole episode on it. Go look it up through my episodes and go check that episode out. And go check out the Crooks related videos in general. I might have to make a playlist because there's 3 or 4 episodes about it. I need to start updating my channel and making more playlists. So, playing devil's advocate, they're actually doing their job and are worried about Trump's safety. Or you could take the red pill, the more conspiratorial mindset and think about it this way. They don't want him rallying in Wisconsin because it's a battleground state. They want him losing Wisconsin. That's the theory. So, let me know what you guys think on that one. Let's go on with the next story. So this is crazy. There's a new amendment they're trying to pass that basically, if a mass amount, 100 members or more of Congress are to die in an event, whether that be nuclear bomb, weather event, like a earthquake, hurricane, something like that, terrorist attack. If they are to die 100 members or more of Congress, they're trying to pass this amendment to where they will be swapped out with new members. Now, this is kind of scary because that would mean basically that if they wanted to, let's say, I don't know, if they wanted to kill off, I don't know, this is so crazy though. Like, basically, there's the theory and the worry is that the Congress, 100 members will die off, and then they can put in 100 more members of who they want, as far as like World Economic Forum, Young Global Leaders Academy, shit like that. Whoever the Rothschilds and Rockefellers want, they can put in who they want and swap them out if they die. I mean, you could take 100 members and I'm sure they all got bunkers and shit. Just have them step out. The new ones, 100 more step in and control the government easier because Congress will be infiltrated with 100 new members of people who are Kabbalist, or not Kabbalist, part of the cabal. They could be Kabbalist. Elites, you know, elite controlled Congress members. And to think that they couldn't just like, quote unquote, kill these people off and swap them out, you know, look at the Challenger explosion. How many of those people are still alive? All of them. No one died on the Challenger explosion. It's not an impossible theory, especially if you're a conspiracy theorist and you already know. If you know, you know about Challenger. There's even ideas if you look at like Handy Sook, you know. I don't know if anyone actually fucking died that day. I really don't. There's a theory that all the kids didn't die and that they basically ended up doing like, what was it, the halftime Super Bowl the next year or something, like a choir of the children, the same fucking children. And once again, it was kind of like what we were talking about with Punch Buggy, no, Punch Back. Sorry. Like we were talking about with Kamala's book and Michelle Obama's book. I think part of the black magic is the cuckoldry of it. And the magical law of they have to tell you what they are doing for the spell to work. You have to consent to it. To an extent. Like, hey, I'm going to punch you in the arm. And now you have the right to stop me. You could grab me and hold me down. But if you do nothing and I punch you in the arm, I don't get karmic backfire from that. I told you I was going to punch you in the arm. But there's been a lot of pre-programming with this too. It was either a book or a show that just came out recently where like almost all of Congress died. And they had like very few politicians and shit. I'll have to ask my buddy because he was telling me about it. And I was like, when I heard this story, I was like, oh, they pre-programmed with this like TV series. It was a TV series or a movie. And if you know, hit me up in the comments what it's called. I'm going to look it up though, because it's creepy. And they've been doing, they've went overdrive on pre-programming, like Leave the World Behind, Civil War. But it pretty much explains of that situation, you know. But I'm going to wrap it up there. I love you all. Please like, share, and subscribe, and you all have a good day.